7 Rules of Power, written and published by Cloudy Library. You can find ebook version below, and feel free to subscribe for more content. Now, let's get into the book. Introduction. Power. It's a force that shapes our world, influences our relationships, and drives the course of history. Whether we seek it actively or shy away from it, power is an inescapable aspect of human interaction. From the boardroom to the classroom, from politics to personal relationships, the dynamics of power play out in countless ways every day. But what exactly is power? At its core, power is the ability to influence outcomes and affect change. It's the capacity to make things happen, to shape events, and to guide the actions of others. Power can be overt or subtle, wielded through authority or charisma, built on wealth or knowledge. Regardless of its form, power is a tool that, when understood and used effectively, can open doors, create opportunities, and drive success. However, power is also a double-edged sword. In the wrong hands or used without wisdom, it can lead to corruption, oppression, and conflict. History is rife with examples of power misused, from tyrannical rulers to corporate scandals. This is why understanding power, its nature, its rules, and its responsible application is crucial for anyone who aspires to make a meaningful impact in their personal or professional life. This book, 7 Rules of Power, is designed to demystify the concept of power and provide you with practical strategies to harness it effectively and ethically. Through these 7 fundamental rules, you'll gain insights into the mechanisms of power and learn how to navigate its complex landscape. Each rule represents a key principle in the mastery of power. Understand and master yourself. Control the narrative. Know when to act and when to wait. Leverage relationships. Maintain flexibility. Keep your intentions concealed. Create dependence. These rules are not about manipulating others or achieving dominance at any cost. Instead, they offer a framework for developing personal power, the kind of power that comes from self-awareness, strategic thinking, and the ability to influence and lead others positively. As we explore each rule in depth, you'll discover how these principles interconnect and reinforce each other. You'll learn from historical examples, contemporary case studies, and practical exercises designed to help you apply these concepts in your own life. It's important to note that with great power comes great responsibility. Throughout this book, we'll also discuss the ethical implications of power and the importance of using it in ways that benefit not just ourselves, but others and society as a whole. Whether you're a business leader looking to enhance your influence, an entrepreneur aiming to make your mark, or simply someone interested in personal growth and effectiveness, the insights in this book will provide you with valuable tools to navigate the complex dynamics of power. Are you ready to unlock your potential and master the rules of power? Let's begin this journey of discovery and empowerment. Turn the page and take your first step towards understanding and wielding the force that shapes our world. First rule: understand and master yourself. The journey to power begins with a fundamental principle: understanding and mastering yourself. This cornerstone rule forms the foundation upon which all other aspects of power are built. Without a deep understanding of your own psyche, motivations, strengths, and weaknesses, any attempt to wield power effectively is likely to falter. Self-mastery is the key that unlocks the door to true power and influence. At the heart of self-mastery lies self-awareness. This crucial skill involves developing a clear and honest perception of your personality, including your strengths, weaknesses, thoughts, beliefs, motivations, and emotions. It's about seeing yourself as you truly are, not as you wish to be or as others perceive you. Self-awareness is like a mirror that reflects your true self, allowing you to see both your admirable qualities and your flaws with clarity and objectivity. Developing self-awareness is an ongoing process that requires continuous introspection and reflection. It involves regularly taking stock of your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, and understanding the underlying drivers behind them. This might involve practices such as journaling, meditation, or seeking feedback from trusted friends, colleagues, or mentors. The goal is to build a comprehensive and honest picture of who you are, including your values, beliefs, strengths, weaknesses, and the patterns that shape your behavior. Identifying your personal strengths is a critical component of self-awareness. These are the qualities, skills, and attributes that set you apart and give you an edge. They could be innate talents, learned skills, or personality traits that serve you well in various situations. Perhaps you're an excellent communicator, a strategic thinker, or have a knack for problem solving. Maybe you possess extraordinary empathy, resilience, or creativity. Recognizing these strengths allows you to leverage them effectively, positioning yourself in situations where you can shine and make the most significant impact. To identify your strengths, reflect on moments when you felt most confident and successful. What skills or qualities were you employing? What tasks or activities do you find energizing and rewarding? What do others consistently praise you for? These can all be indicators of your core strengths. Once identified, the key is to find ways to cultivate and apply these strengths more consistently and strategically in your pursuit of power and influence. However, true self-awareness also requires acknowledging and understanding your weaknesses. These are areas where you struggle, skills you lack, or personality traits that may hold you back. It might be difficult to confront these aspects of yourself, but doing so is crucial for growth and self-improvement. Recognizing your weaknesses doesn't make you less powerful. On the contrary, it allows you to manage these areas effectively, either by working to improve them or by surrounding yourself with people whose strengths complement your weaknesses. Identifying weaknesses requires honesty and courage. Reflect on situations where you've struggled or failed. What skills or qualities were you lacking? What feedback have you received about areas for improvement? What tasks or situations do you tend to avoid? These can all point to potential weaknesses. Once identified, you can develop strategies to address them, whether through skill development, delegation, or finding ways to work around them. Understanding your motivations and values is another critical aspect of self-awareness. What drives you? What are the core beliefs and principles that guide your decisions and actions? These internal drivers shape your behavior and influence your choices, often in ways you may not consciously realize. By becoming aware of your motivations, you can align your actions with your true desires and values, leading to greater satisfaction and authenticity in your pursuits of power and success. Your values serve as your internal compass, guiding you through complex ethical dilemmas and helping you make decisions that are true to who you are. In the realm of power, where ethical challenges are common, a strong sense of your values is invaluable. It helps you wield power responsibly and in ways that align with your principles, rather than being swayed by external pressures or temptations. To clarify your values and motivations, consider what's truly important to you. What principles do you refuse to compromise on? What goals or achievements would give you the greatest sense of fulfillment? What legacy do you want to leave? Understanding these deep-seated drivers can help you make decisions and pursue power in ways that are genuinely satisfying and sustainable. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in self-mastery and, by extension, in the effective use of power. Emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. It's about being aware of how your emotions influence your thoughts and behavior, and how they impact those around you. In the context of power, emotional intelligence is a potent tool. It allows you to remain calm and composed in high-pressure situations, to read the emotional undercurrents in a room, and to respond appropriately to the feelings and needs of others. Leaders with high emotional intelligence are often more effective in inspiring and motivating their teams, negotiating complex interpersonal dynamics, and navigating conflicts. Developing emotional intelligence starts with self-awareness. It involves recognizing your emotional triggers, understanding your typical emotional responses, and learning to manage these responses effectively. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, but rather understanding them and choosing how to express them in ways that are constructive and appropriate to the situation. To enhance your emotional intelligence, practice mindfulness to become more aware of your emotions as they arise. Work on identifying and naming your emotions with specificity. Develop strategies for managing strong emotions, such as taking a pause before reacting or using calming techniques. Also, work on empathy by actively trying to understand others' perspectives and emotions. Self-mastery also involves developing the ability to regulate your emotions and behaviors. This means cultivating discipline and self-control, essential qualities for anyone seeking to wield power effectively. Discipline allows you to stay focused on your goals, resist short-term temptations, and persist in the face of challenges. Self-control enables you to manage your impulses, make rational decisions even in emotionally charged situations, and maintain your composure under pressure. Developing discipline and self-control is a gradual process that requires consistent effort. Start by setting clear goals and creating structured plans to achieve them. Develop routines and habits that support your objectives. Practice delaying gratification and making choices based on long-term benefits rather than short-term pleasures. Regularly challenge yourself to step out of your comfort zone and face difficult tasks or situations. The process of understanding and mastering yourself is ongoing. It requires constant self-reflection, a willingness to seek and accept feedback from others, and a commitment to continuous self-improvement. Tools like journaling, meditation, and seeking honest feedback from trusted mentors or friends can be invaluable in this journey. As you develop greater self-awareness and self-mastery, you'll find that your ability to influence others and navigate complex power dynamics improves dramatically. You'll be better equipped to choose your battles wisely, to present yourself authentically and confidently, and to make decisions that align with your values and long-term goals. Moreover, self-mastery gives you a solid foundation that can weather the storms of adversity and the temptations that often come with power. When you truly understand yourself, you're less likely to be swayed by external influences or to lose yourself in the pursuit or exercise of power. Another crucial aspect of understanding and mastering yourself is recognizing and managing your cognitive biases. These are systematic errors in thinking that can affect your judgments and decision-making. Common biases include confirmation bias, seeking information that confirms your existing beliefs, anchoring bias, relying too heavily on the first piece of information you receive, and overconfidence bias, overestimating your own abilities or judgments. By becoming aware of these biases, you can take steps to mitigate their effects on your thinking and decision-making. This might involve actively seeking out diverse perspectives, challenging your own assumptions, or using structured decision-making frameworks to counteract biased thinking. Developing a growth mindset is another key component of self-mastery. This involves believing that your abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, learning, and persistence. A growth mindset allows you to view challenges as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your competence. It encourages you to embrace feedback, learn from failures, and continuously strive for improvement. To cultivate a growth mindset, focus on the process of learning and improvement rather than just the outcomes. Embrace challenges as opportunities to grow. View failures as learning experiences rather than reflections of your worth or ability. Seek out feedback and use it constructively to improve. Understanding your personal narrative, the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of, is another crucial aspect of self-mastery. Our personal narratives shape our beliefs about ourselves and what we can achieve. By becoming aware of your narrative, you can identify limiting beliefs or self-sabotaging patterns and work to reframe them in more empowering ways. To explore your personal narrative, reflect on the stories you tell yourself about your capabilities, your past experiences, and your potential. Are these stories empowering or limiting? Where did they come from? How can you reframe negative or limiting narratives in more positive and growth-oriented ways? Finally, mastering yourself involves developing resilience, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, adapt to change, and keep going in the face of adversity. Resilience is crucial in the pursuit and exercise of power, as setbacks and challenges are inevitable. To build resilience, work on developing a strong support network, maintaining a positive outlook, setting realistic goals, and taking care of your physical and mental health. Practice reframing negative situations in more positive or constructive ways. Develop problem-solving skills so you feel equipped to handle challenges as they arise. In conclusion, understanding and mastering yourself is the first and perhaps most crucial rule of power. It provides the self-awareness necessary to recognize your strengths and leverage them effectively, to manage your weaknesses, and to align your actions with your values and motivations. Through emotional intelligence and self-regulation, it equips you with the tools to navigate the complex emotional landscape of power dynamics. Self-mastery involves ongoing self-reflection, the development of emotional intelligence, cultivation of discipline and self-control, management of cognitive biases, adoption of a growth mindset, understanding of your personal narrative, and building of resilience. It's a lifelong journey of self-discovery and personal growth. Remember, the most formidable power you can possess is the power over yourself. Master this, and you'll be well on your way to mastering the other rules of power that follow. By deeply understanding and effectively managing yourself, you create a solid foundation from which you can authentically and effectively wield power and influence in all areas of your life. Second rule, control the narrative. In the complex tapestry of power dynamics, controlling the narrative is a crucial thread that can make or break your influence. This rule centers on the ability to shape how others perceive you, your actions, and the situations you're involved in. It's about becoming the author of your own story and, to some extent, the stories of those around you. At its core, controlling the narrative is about perception management. It's the art of influencing how others see and interpret the world around them, particularly in relation to you and your interests. This doesn't mean fabricating falsehoods or engaging in manipulation, but rather presenting information and framing situations in ways that align with your goals and values. Shaping others' perceptions begins with understanding how people form opinions and make judgments. Humans are inherently storytelling creatures. We make sense of the world through narratives. By recognizing this, you can craft narratives that resonate with your audience, whether that's a single individual, a team, or a broader public. One key aspect of perception management is image cultivation. This involves consciously developing and maintaining a persona that aligns with your goals and values. It's about deciding how you want to be perceived, and then consistently acting in ways that reinforce that image. This might involve developing a particular leadership style, cultivating expertise in specific areas, or embodying certain character traits that you want to be associated with. However, image cultivation isn't about creating a false persona. Authenticity is crucial. People can often sense when someone is being disingenuous. Instead, it's about strategically emphasizing certain aspects of your genuine self that align with your goals and the image you want to project. First impressions play a pivotal role in perception management. Research has shown that people form lasting impressions within seconds of meeting someone or encountering a new situation. These initial judgments can be remarkably difficult to change once they're formed. As such, paying careful attention to how you present yourself in new encounters is crucial. This includes everything from your appearance and body language to your initial words and actions. Strategic communication is another vital component of controlling the narrative. This involves not just what you say, but how, when, and to whom you say it. It's about crafting messages that are clear, compelling, and tailored to your audience. Effective strategic communication requires a deep understanding of your audience's needs, values, and motivations. One powerful technique in strategic communication is the use of framing. Framing involves presenting information in a way that encourages certain interpretations while discouraging others. For example, describing a 10% unemployment rate as 90% employment frames the situation in a more positive light. While both statements are factually correct, they evoke different emotional responses and interpretations. Storytelling is another potent tool in strategic communication. Stories have a unique power to engage emotions, illustrate points, and make information memorable. By weaving your messages into compelling narratives, you can make your ideas more persuasive and impactful. Whether you're explaining a complex concept, motivating a team, or advocating for a cause, a well-crafted story can be far more effective than dry facts and figures alone. Timing is also crucial in strategic communication. Knowing when to speak up and when to remain silent, when to release information and when to withhold it, can significantly impact how your message is received. Sometimes, the most powerful communication is silence, allowing others to fill in the gaps or come to their own conclusions. In today's digital age, media and information control have become increasingly important aspects of controlling the narrative. The rapid spread of information through social media and online platforms has created both opportunities and challenges for those seeking to manage perceptions. On one hand, these platforms provide unprecedented opportunities to directly communicate with large audiences, bypassing traditional gatekeepers. You can share your message, respond to critics, and shape your public image in real time. On the other hand, the speed and reach of digital communication mean that narratives can quickly spiral out of control if not managed carefully. Effective media and information control involve not just disseminating your own message, but also monitoring and, when necessary, countering opposing narratives. This might involve fact-checking, providing context to misleading information, or presenting alternative perspectives. It's about being proactive rather than reactive, anticipating potential challenges to your narrative and addressing them before they gain traction. In the realm of media and information control, it's crucial to understand the concept of information asymmetry. This refers to situations where one party has more or better information than the other. By strategically controlling the flow of information, you can maintain an advantage in negotiations, decision-making processes, and public opinion formation. However, it's important to note that in an era of increasing demands for transparency, excessive control or manipulation of information can backfire. If people perceive that you're withholding important information or presenting a skewed version of reality, it can severely damage your credibility and undermine your power. The key is to find a balance between strategic information management and maintaining trust through appropriate levels of transparency. Another important aspect of controlling the narrative is managing crises and unexpected events. In these situations, the ability to quickly assess the situation, craft an appropriate response, and communicate it effectively can make the difference between weathering the storm and suffering lasting damage to your reputation and influence. Crisis communication involves not just addressing the immediate issue, but also shaping the narrative around how you're handling the situation. It's about demonstrating leadership, taking responsibility where appropriate, and presenting a clear path forward. By controlling the narrative during a crisis, you can often emerge with your reputation not just intact, but enhanced. It's also worth noting that controlling the narrative isn't just about managing external perceptions. It's equally important to shape the internal narrative within your organization or team. This involves creating a shared vision, aligning team members around common goals, and fostering a culture that supports your objectives. By controlling the internal narrative, you can build cohesion, motivation, and loyalty among those you lead or work with. Controlling the narrative is a multifaceted skill that involves perception management, strategic communication, and media and information control. It requires a deep understanding of human psychology, excellent communication skills, and the ability to think strategically about information flow and perception formation. By mastering this rule, you can significantly enhance your ability to influence others, shape outcomes, and ultimately, wield power effectively. Remember, though, that with this power comes responsibility. The most effective and sustainable narrative control is rooted in truth and authenticity, even as it strategically emphasizes certain aspects of that truth to achieve your goals. Third rule: know when to act and when to wait. In the intricate dance of power dynamics, timing is everything. The ability to discern the right moment for action, and equally importantly, the wisdom to know when to hold back, can often be the deciding factor between success and failure. This chapter explores the critical skill of timing in the exercise of power, delving into the art of recognizing opportune moments, the virtue of patience, and the delicate balance of risk and reward. The power of timing cannot be overstated. History is replete with examples of leaders, innovators, and strategists who achieved greatness not just because of what they did, but because of when they chose to do it. Conversely, many promising endeavors have faltered or failed entirely due to premature action or missed opportunities. Understanding the rhythms of your environment, whether it's the business world, politics, or personal relationships, is crucial to wielding power effectively. Recognizing the right moment to act requires a keen sense of situational awareness. This involves not just understanding the current state of affairs, but also anticipating how situations might evolve. It's about reading the subtle signs and signals in your environment, understanding the motivations and likely reactions of other players, and having a clear grasp of your own readiness and resources. Developing this awareness is an ongoing process that requires constant observation, analysis, and reflection. To hone your situational awareness, start by becoming a keen observer of your environment. Pay attention to patterns, trends, and shifts in dynamics. Listen not just to what people say, but to the subtext of their communications. Stay informed about broader trends and factors that might influence your sphere of influence. Regularly take time to step back and assess the bigger picture, looking for connections and potential opportunities or threats that might not be immediately obvious. However, recognizing the right moment is only half the battle. The other half is having the patience and self-control to wait for that moment. In a world that often values quick action and instant gratification, the ability to bide your time can be a powerful differentiator. Patience in this context isn't passive. It's an active state of preparation and vigilance. It's about using the time of waiting to gather resources, build alliances, refine strategies, and position yourself for maximum impact when the moment of action arrives. Cultivating patience requires discipline and a long-term perspective. It involves trusting in your ability to recognize the right moment when it comes, rather than rushing into action out of fear or impatience. Practice delayed gratification in small ways to build this skill. Set long-term goals and work steadily towards them, resisting the urge for quick wins that might compromise your ultimate objectives. The virtue of patience in power dynamics is often underappreciated. Many people, eager to make their mark or seize an apparent opportunity, act prematurely. They may achieve short-term gains, but often at the cost of long-term success. The patient player, on the other hand, allows situations to develop, waits for opponents to make mistakes, and strikes when the odds are most in their favor. This approach requires confidence, self-control, and a long-term perspective, all crucial attributes for anyone seeking to wield power effectively. However, waiting too long can be just as detrimental as acting too soon. Opportunities have a lifespan, and timing often involves a degree of risk. This is where the art of calculated risk-taking comes into play. Effective power players are adept at assessing risks and potential rewards, making informed decisions about when the potential benefits outweigh the possible downsides. Risk assessment in the context of timing involves several factors. First, you need to evaluate the potential outcomes of your action or inaction and their probabilities. This includes considering not just the immediate consequences, but also the long-term ripple effects. Second, you must assess your own capacity to handle both success and failure. Do you have the resources and resilience to capitalize on a success or recover from a setback? Third, you need to consider the broader context. How will your action be perceived by others? How might it affect your overall strategy and long-term goals? Developing a framework for decision-making can be invaluable in navigating these complex considerations. This might involve creating a set of criteria for action, establishing thresholds for acceptable risk, or developing a process for rapid situation assessment. The specific framework will depend on your personal style and the nature of your environment, but having a systematic approach can help you make more consistent and effective decisions about timing. One useful framework is the traffic light system. In this approach, you categorize potential actions into 3 categories: green, low risk, high potential reward; yellow, moderate risk and reward, requiring careful consideration; and red, high risk, potentially damaging consequences. This simple system can help you quickly assess opportunities and decide whether to act, wait, or avoid altogether. Another valuable tool is scenario planning. This involves imagining different possible futures based on various actions or inactions. By thinking through potential outcomes and their implications, You can make more informed decisions about when to act and when to wait. It's also crucial to learn from historical examples of well-timed and poorly timed actions. Studying how successful leaders and strategists have navigated critical moments can provide valuable insights. What factors did they consider? How did they prepare during periods of waiting? How did they recognize and seize the right moment? Conversely, examining instances of mistimed actions can help you avoid common pitfalls. For instance, consider the launch of the iPhone in 2007. Apple didn't invent the smartphone, but they recognized the perfect moment to enter the market with a revolutionary product. They waited until technology had advanced sufficiently to support their vision and until consumer appetite for such a device had grown. Their timing was impeccable, and it transformed the entire mobile industry. On the flip side, the failure of Quibi, a short-form streaming platform, illustrates the perils of poor timing. Launched in April 2020, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, Quibi was designed for on-the-go viewing. However, with most people confined to their homes, the timing couldn't have been worse. Despite significant investment and star power, the platform shut down just 6 months after launch. Adaptability is another key component of mastering timing. No matter how well you plan, unexpected developments are inevitable. The ability to quickly reassess situations and adjust your timing accordingly is crucial. This might mean accelerating your plans in response to a sudden opportunity or pulling back when unforeseen obstacles arise. Flexibility in your thinking and your strategies allows you to maintain the initiative even when circumstances change. To develop adaptability, practice scenario planning regularly. Imagine different possible futures and how you might respond to each. Cultivate a mindset that views change as an opportunity rather than a threat. Stay informed about trends and developments in your field so you can anticipate potential shifts. And most importantly, be willing to abandon or modify plans when circumstances demand it, rather than stubbornly sticking to a course of action that's no longer optimal. Developing situational awareness and the ability to read the proverbial room is a critical skill in mastering timing. This involves not just gathering information, but also interpreting subtle cues and undercurrents. It requires empathy to understand others' perspectives and motivations, as well as the ability to see beyond surface-level events to underlying trends and dynamics. To enhance your situational awareness, practice active listening in your interactions. Pay attention not just to what people say, but to their tone, body language, and what they leave unsaid. Regularly seek out diverse perspectives to broaden your understanding of situations. Develop a network of trusted sources who can provide insights into different aspects of your environment. The balance between preparation and spontaneity is another important aspect of timing. While thorough preparation is crucial, over-planning can lead to rigidity and missed opportunities. The most effective power players are those who can combine meticulous preparation with the ability to improvise and seize unexpected opportunities. To strike this balance, prepare thoroughly for anticipated scenarios, but also cultivate your ability to think on your feet. Practice improvisational skills, whether through formal training or by deliberately putting yourself in situations that require quick thinking. Develop a deep understanding of your field so you can make informed decisions quickly when necessary. Understanding the concept of windows of opportunity is crucial in mastering timing. These are periods when conditions are particularly favorable for a specific action. They might be created by external circumstances, the actions of others, or your own preparatory work. The key is to recognize these windows when they appear and be ready to act decisively. To identify windows of opportunity, stay attuned to changes in your environment. Look for convergences of favorable conditions. Be aware of cyclical patterns in your field that might create recurring opportunities. And most importantly, be prepared to act quickly when you recognize a window opening. It's also important to understand that sometimes the best action is no action at all. There are times when staying still, observing, and allowing situations to develop can be the most powerful move. This requires confidence and self-control, as well as a clear understanding of your long-term objectives. Mastering the art of timing also involves understanding and managing the expectations of others. Sometimes, the pressure to act comes not from the situation itself, but from the expectations of those around you. Learning to manage these expectations, to create space for careful consideration and strategic patience, is an important aspect of timing. In conclusion, knowing when to act and when to wait is a nuanced and critical skill in the exercise of power. It requires a combination of keen situational awareness, strategic patience, calculated risk-taking, adaptability, and the ability to recognize and seize windows of opportunity. By mastering the art of timing, you can maximize the impact of your actions, minimize unnecessary risks, and position yourself to take full advantage of opportunities as they arise. Remember, in the game of power, it's not just what you do that matters, but when you choose to do it. The most successful leaders and strategists are those who can read the currents of their environment, patiently prepare for the right moment, and then act decisively when that moment arrives. By honing this skill, you'll be well equipped to navigate the complex dynamics of power and influence in any arena. Fourth rule, leverage relationships. In the intricate web of power dynamics, relationships form the essential threads that connect and influence every aspect of our personal and professional lives. This chapter delves into the critical skill of leveraging relationships to enhance your power and influence. Understanding how to build, maintain, and strategically utilize a network of connections is often the difference between those who merely possess authority and those who wield true power. At its core, leveraging relationships is about recognizing that no one operates in isolation. Even the most seemingly self-made individuals rely on a complex network of supporters, mentors, allies, and even rivals to achieve their goals. The ability to cultivate and navigate these relationships effectively is a cornerstone of power. Building a powerful network begins with identifying key players and potential allies in your sphere of influence. This requires a keen understanding of your environment, whether it's a corporate setting, a political landscape, or a social circle. Who are the decision makers? Who holds informal influence? Who are the up-and-comers who might be valuable connections in the future? Mapping out this landscape is the first step in strategic networking. Once you've identified potential connections, the art of networking comes into play. Effective networking is far more than simply collecting business cards or adding contacts on LinkedIn. It's about creating genuine, mutually beneficial relationships. This involves showing sincere interest in others, finding common ground, and demonstrating your own value as a connection. Remember, the most powerful networks are built on trust and reciprocity, not mere transactional exchanges. Maintaining and nurturing these relationships is just as crucial as establishing them. Regular communication, thoughtful gestures, and a willingness to offer help without immediate expectation of return are all key to keeping your network strong and vibrant. It's important to view relationship building as a long-term investment rather than a quick fix for immediate needs. The art of influence is closely tied to relationship leveraging. While direct influence through formal authority has its place, indirect influence through relationships is often more powerful and far-reaching. This involves understanding the complex web of connections and power dynamics within your network and learning how to navigate them to achieve your goals. Persuasion techniques play a significant role in leveraging relationships. This doesn't mean manipulating others, but rather understanding how to present your ideas and requests in ways that resonate with the interests and values of those you're trying to influence. It's about finding win-win solutions that benefit both parties and align with the broader goals of your network. Building coalitions and alliances is another crucial aspect of leveraging relationships for power. This involves bringing together individuals or groups with shared interests to work towards common goals. Successful coalition building requires diplomatic skills, the ability to find common ground among diverse interests, and the vision to articulate a compelling shared purpose. Understanding and navigating office politics is an unavoidable part of leveraging relationships in professional settings. While the term office politics often carries negative connotations, at its core, it's simply about understanding and working within the informal power structures that exist in any organization. This requires emotional intelligence, discretion, and the ability to build alliances without alienating others. Reciprocity is a fundamental principle in relationship leveraging. The most successful networkers understand the importance of giving as well as receiving. This might involve sharing information, offering support, or making introductions. By consistently providing value to your network, you create a reservoir of goodwill that you can draw upon when you need support or favors in the future. It's important to note that leveraging relationships isn't about accumulating a large number of shallow connections. Quality often trumps quantity when it comes to powerful networks. A small number of strong, trust-based relationships can be far more valuable than a vast network of superficial acquaintances. Managing power dynamics within relationships requires a delicate touch. It's about understanding hierarchies and social structures, both formal and informal, and knowing how to navigate them effectively. This might involve showing appropriate deference to those in positions of authority while also cultivating your own sources of influence. Emotional intelligence plays a crucial role in leveraging relationships. The ability to read others' emotions, understand their motivations, and respond appropriately is invaluable in building and maintaining strong connections. It allows you to navigate complex interpersonal situations with grace and effectiveness. Cultural awareness is increasingly important in our globalized world. Understanding and respecting cultural differences and how relationships are formed and maintained can be crucial, especially when operating in international or multicultural environments. It's also important to recognize that not all relationships are equal in terms of their potential for leveraging power. Strategic relationship management involves identifying which connections are most valuable for your goals and focusing your energy on cultivating and maintaining these key relationships. Leveraging relationships also involves knowing how to handle conflicts and disagreements gracefully. The ability to navigate difficult conversations, resolve disputes, and maintain relationships even in the face of conflicting interests is a hallmark of skilled relationship managers. In conclusion, leveraging relationships is a fundamental aspect of wielding power effectively. It involves building and maintaining a strong network, understanding the art of influence, and navigating complex social and professional dynamics. By mastering these skills, you can extend your reach far beyond your formal authority, opening up new opportunities and pathways to power. Remember, in the end, your power is often only as strong as the relationships you've cultivated. Fifth rule, maintain flexibility. In the ever-changing landscape of power dynamics, the ability to maintain flexibility is a crucial asset. This chapter explores the importance of adaptability, the art of strategic pivoting, and the role of emotional and cognitive flexibility in wielding power effectively. Flexibility in the context of power is about more than just being able to change plans on a whim. It's a mindset that allows you to navigate complex and often unpredictable environments with agility and grace. The most successful power players are those who can read the shifting winds of circumstance and adjust their strategies accordingly without losing sight of their ultimate goals. Recognizing changing circumstances is the first step in maintaining flexibility. This requires a keen sense of awareness and a willingness to continuously reassess your environment. It means staying informed about developments in your field, understanding the motivations and actions of key players, and being attuned to subtle shifts in the balance of power. Those who become too rigid in their thinking or too wedded to a particular course of action often find themselves blindsided by changes they failed to anticipate. Overcoming resistance to change is a critical aspect of maintaining flexibility. Human beings are naturally inclined to seek stability and resist change, even when it's necessary. This resistance can be particularly strong when we've invested heavily in a particular strategy or course of action. Overcoming this resistance requires self-awareness, courage, and a willingness to let go of approaches that are no longer serving you well. It also involves helping others in your sphere of influence to embrace necessary changes, which can be a delicate process requiring patience and persuasion. Flexibility can be a significant competitive advantage in any field. While others cling to outdated strategies or struggle to adapt to new realities, Those who maintain flexibility can seize new opportunities and navigate challenges more effectively. This adaptability allows you to stay relevant and effective even as the ground shifts beneath your feet. Strategic pivoting is a key skill in maintaining flexibility. This involves knowing when and how to change course in response to new information or changing circumstances. Effective pivoting isn't about abandoning your goals or values, but rather about finding new paths to achieve them when old ones are no longer viable. It requires a combination of decisiveness and careful consideration, the ability to act swiftly when necessary, but also the wisdom to thoroughly assess the implications of a change in direction. Balancing consistency and flexibility is a delicate art. While flexibility is crucial, it's equally important to maintain a sense of stability and reliability. Constant, erratic changes can undermine trust and make it difficult for others to work with you effectively. The key is to find a balance where you're adaptable enough to respond to changing circumstances, but consistent enough in your core values and long-term objectives to inspire confidence in those around you. Studying case studies of successful pivots in business and politics can provide valuable insights into the art of flexibility. These might include companies that successfully transformed their business models in response to technological disruptions, or political leaders who adeptly shifted their strategies to navigate changing public sentiments. Analyzing these examples can help you understand the decision-making processes involved in successful pivots and how to apply similar principles in your own sphere of influence. Emotional flexibility is another crucial component of maintaining overall flexibility. This involves the ability to regulate your emotional responses to changing situations, to remain calm in the face of uncertainty, and to empathize with others who may be struggling with change. Emotionally flexible individuals are better equipped to handle the stress and ambiguity that often accompany shifts in power dynamics. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to adapt your thinking and problem-solving approaches to new situations, is equally important. This involves being open to new ideas, willing to consider alternative perspectives, and able to think creatively about complex problems. Cognitively flexible individuals are better equipped to find innovative solutions and to see opportunities where others might only see obstacles. Overcoming cognitive biases is a key aspect of maintaining cognitive flexibility. We all have inherent biases that can limit our thinking and lead us to make poor decisions. These might include confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, sunk cost fallacy, the inclination to continue with a course of action because we've already invested in it, even when it's no longer beneficial, or anchoring, the tendency to rely too heavily on the first piece of information we receive. Recognizing and actively working to overcome these biases can significantly enhance your ability to maintain flexibility in your thinking and decision-making. Developing resilience is crucial for maintaining flexibility in the face of setbacks and challenges. Resilient individuals are able to bounce back from failures, learn from their experiences, and continue moving forward even in difficult circumstances. This resilience allows you to maintain your flexibility even when things don't go as planned, helping you to adapt and find new pathways to success. Creativity plays a vital role in maintaining flexibility. Creative thinking allows you to see beyond conventional solutions and to imagine new possibilities when faced with challenges. Cultivating your creativity through practices like brainstorming, exploring diverse perspectives, and engaging in activities that stimulate innovative thinking can significantly enhance your ability to adapt to changing circumstances. Maintaining flexibility is a critical skill for anyone seeking to wield power effectively. It involves staying attuned to your environment, being willing to pivot when necessary, and cultivating emotional and cognitive adaptability. By mastering the art of flexibility, you can navigate the complex and ever-changing landscape of power with greater ease and effectiveness. Remember, in a world where change is the only constant, the ability to adapt is not just an advantage, it's a necessity. Sixth rule: keep your intentions concealed. In the intricate game of power, one of the most valuable skills is the ability to keep your intentions concealed. This chapter delves into the art of discretion, the strategic use of ambiguity, and the delicate balance between transparency and opaqueness in wielding power effectively. The power of discretion cannot be overstated. In a world where information is currency, the ability to control what others know about your plans, motivations, and strategies can give you a significant advantage. This doesn't mean being deceptive or dishonest, but rather understanding when and how to reveal information strategically. At its core, keeping your intentions concealed is about maintaining control over your narrative and preserving your ability to maneuver. When others are fully aware of your intentions, they can more easily anticipate your moves, prepare countermeasures, or even use your plans against you. By keeping your cards close to your chest, you maintain an element of surprise and unpredictability that can be crucial in negotiations, competitive situations, or any scenario where you're vying for power or influence. The benefits of keeping plans private are manifold. Firstly, it allows you to work on your strategies without interference or premature judgment from others. Ideas and plans often need time to develop and mature. Exposing them too early can lead to unnecessary criticism or opposition that might derail potentially brilliant strategies before they have a chance to come to fruition. Secondly, concealing your intentions can prevent others from co-opting your ideas or getting ahead of you. In competitive environments, whether in business, politics, or other fields, being the first to act on an idea can be crucial. If your intentions are known, others might beat you to the punch or position themselves to benefit from your plans without having done the work. Thirdly, keeping your intentions concealed can give you more flexibility. If others don't know your exact plans, you have more room to adjust your strategy as circumstances change without appearing inconsistent or indecisive. This flexibility can be a significant advantage in dynamic environments where agility is key to success. However, maintaining secrecy is not without its challenges. In an age of ubiquitous information and constant communication, keeping intentions truly concealed requires skill and discipline. It involves careful control of what you say, how you say it, and even your nonverbal cues. It may also require managing the flow of information within your organization or circle of influence to ensure that sensitive information doesn't leak out prematurely. One key technique for maintaining secrecy is compartmentalization. This involves sharing information on a need-to-know basis, ensuring that each person or group only has access to the information necessary for their specific role or task. This not only helps prevent leaks, but also makes it harder for outside observers to piece together your overall strategy from individual bits of information. Another important aspect of keeping your intentions concealed is managing your digital footprint. In today's interconnected world, a careless email, an ill-considered social media post, or even your online search history can reveal more about your plans and intentions than you might realize. Being mindful of your digital communications and maintaining strong information security practices are crucial for preserving the secrecy of your intentions. Strategic ambiguity is a powerful tool in the arsenal of those who wish to keep their intentions concealed. This involves using vagueness or multiple possible interpretations to your advantage. By being strategically ambiguous, you can keep your options open, avoid committing to a specific course of action prematurely, and maintain flexibility in your approach. Using vagueness to your advantage doesn't mean being consistently unclear or evasive. Rather, it's about knowing when to be specific and when to leave room for interpretation. This can be particularly useful in negotiations or diplomatic situations, where maintaining some ambiguity can give you more room to maneuver as circumstances evolve. Creating multiple interpretations of your actions or statements can also be a powerful technique. By allowing different stakeholders to interpret your intentions in ways that align with their own interests or expectations, you can build broader support, or at least avoid opposition while keeping your true intentions concealed. This requires a nuanced understanding of your audience and the ability to craft messages that can be read in multiple ways without being overtly deceptive. The timing of information revelation is crucial when keeping your intentions concealed. Knowing when to reveal information and when to withhold it can significantly impact the success of your strategies. Sometimes, a well-timed revelation of your intentions can catch others off guard or create a desired effect. Other times, Maintaining secrecy until the last possible moment might be necessary to ensure the success of your plans. However, it's important to strike a balance between concealment and transparency. While keeping your intentions hidden can be advantageous, excessive secrecy can breed mistrust and suspicion. In many contexts, particularly in leadership roles, a certain degree of transparency is necessary to build trust, motivate others, and ensure smooth operations. The key is to be strategic about what you reveal and what you keep concealed. This might involve being open about your overall goals or vision while keeping the specific strategies or tactics you plan to employ under wraps. It could also mean being transparent with certain trusted individuals or groups while maintaining secrecy in broader contexts. Ethical considerations come into play when discussing the concealment of intentions. While strategic ambiguity and discretion are valid tools in the exercise of power, outright deception or manipulation can backfire, damaging your reputation and eroding trust. It's crucial to find a balance that allows you to maintain strategic advantages without compromising your integrity or ethical standards. Misdirection is another technique that can be employed in keeping intentions concealed. This involves directing attention away from your true intentions by emphasizing other aspects of your plans or actions. Misdirection isn't about lying, but rather about controlling the narrative and guiding others' focus in a way that benefits your strategy. Effective misdirection requires a deep understanding of human psychology and attention. It might involve creating a distraction, emphasizing less important aspects of your plans, or framing your actions in a way that leads others to draw incorrect conclusions about your intentions. When done skillfully, misdirection can allow you to pursue your true objectives while others are focused elsewhere. However, the use of misdirection, like any form of concealment, should be approached with caution and ethical consideration. Overuse or misuse of this technique can damage your credibility and relationships if others feel they've been intentionally misled. Protection against others' deception is an important corollary to concealing your own intentions. Just as you seek to keep your intentions hidden, others may be doing the same. Developing the ability to discern others' true motives and plans, even when they're trying to conceal them, is a valuable skill in navigating power dynamics. This involves honing your observational skills, learning to read between the lines, and developing a healthy skepticism without becoming paranoid. It also requires an understanding of common concealment techniques so that you can recognize when they're being employed against you. In some cases, the most powerful way to conceal your intentions is to be selectively open. By being transparent about certain aspects of your plans or motivations, you can build trust and credibility, making it less likely that others will suspect you of concealing more significant intentions. This strategic openness can provide cover for the truly important information you wish to keep hidden. The psychological aspect of keeping intentions concealed is significant. It requires a strong sense of self-control and the ability to manage your own emotions and reactions. Excitement about a plan, anxiety about its potential outcomes, or frustration with obstacles can all lead to unintentional revelations if not properly managed. Developing a poker face, the ability to maintain a neutral expression regardless of your inner thoughts or emotions, can be a valuable skill in concealing your intentions. This extends beyond facial expressions to include tone of voice, body language, and even the topics you choose to discuss or avoid. Cultural considerations also come into play when discussing the concealment of intentions. Different cultures have varying attitudes towards directness, ambiguity, and the appropriate level of transparency in different contexts. Being aware of these cultural nuances is crucial, especially in international or multicultural environments, to ensure that your approach to concealing intentions is effective and appropriate. Training yourself and your team in the art of discretion is an important aspect of maintaining concealed intentions over time. This might involve establishing clear protocols for information sharing, training in communication techniques that maintain ambiguity when necessary, and fostering a culture that values and respects the strategic importance of discretion. It's also important to have contingency plans for situations where your intentions might be revealed prematurely or against your will. This could involve preparing alternative narratives, having backup strategies ready, or being prepared to pivot quickly if your original intentions become known. Keeping your intentions concealed is a nuanced and powerful tool in the exercise of power. It involves a combination of discretion, strategic ambiguity, careful information management, and psychological self-control. When employed ethically and skillfully, it can provide significant strategic advantages, allowing you to navigate complex power dynamics more effectively. However, it's crucial to balance this concealment with appropriate levels of transparency and ethical consideration. The goal is not to be constantly secretive or deceptive, but to be strategic about what you reveal and when, always with an eye towards your long-term objectives and the maintenance of trust and credibility. Mastering the art of keeping your intentions concealed while also being able to discern the hidden intentions of others is a powerful skill set in the realm of power dynamics. It allows you to maintain control over your narrative, preserve your strategic advantages, and navigate complex situations with greater effectiveness and finesse. Seventh rule: create dependence. In the intricate web of power dynamics, one of the most potent strategies is the creation of dependence. This chapter explores the art of making yourself indispensable, controlling access to crucial resources, and building loyalty and commitment. While the concept of creating dependence might initially seem manipulative, when applied ethically and with mutual benefit in mind, it can be a powerful tool for establishing lasting influence and stable power structures. At its core, creating dependence is about positioning yourself as an essential component in the lives, work, or operations of others. It's about becoming the go-to person, the invaluable resource, or the critical link that others cannot easily replace or do without. This doesn't mean exploiting others or creating artificial scarcity. Rather, it's about genuinely developing and offering unique value that makes you integral to the success and well-being of those around you. Becoming indispensable starts with identifying crucial needs within your sphere of influence. This requires a keen understanding of your environment, whether it's a business setting, a social circle, or a broader community. What are the pain points that people struggle with? What are the gaps in knowledge, skills, or resources that need to be filled? By identifying these needs, you can position yourself to address them in a way that makes you invaluable. Once you've identified these needs, the next step is to develop the skills, knowledge, or resources necessary to meet them. This might involve acquiring specialized expertise, cultivating unique connections, or developing innovative solutions to persistent problems. The key is to offer something that others find difficult to obtain elsewhere, making you the natural and preferred choice when those needs arise. It's important to note that becoming indispensable is not about creating a monopoly or eliminating all alternatives. Rather, it's about being the best option available, the one that others naturally turn to because of the superior value you provide. This approach ensures that your position is based on merit and mutual benefit, rather than coercion or manipulation. Developing unique skills or resources is a crucial aspect of creating dependence. In a world where many skills and resources are commoditized, having something truly unique to offer can set you apart and make others dependent on your particular talents or assets. This might involve developing a rare combination of skills, cultivating deep expertise in a niche area, or creating proprietary systems or methodologies that others find invaluable. However, it's not enough to simply possess these unique skills or resources. You must also make them known and accessible to those who need them. This involves effective self-promotion and networking, ensuring that key players in your sphere of influence are aware of what you have to offer and how it can benefit them. It's a delicate balance between making your value known and avoiding arrogance or self-aggrandizement. Controlling access to information is another powerful way to create dependence. In today's information-rich world, the ability to curate, interpret, and apply information effectively is often more valuable than the information itself. By positioning yourself as a gatekeeper or interpreter of crucial information, you can make others dependent on your insights and analysis. This doesn't mean hoarding information or creating artificial scarcity. Instead, it's about adding value to information through your unique perspective, analysis, or application. It might involve synthesizing complex data into actionable insights, translating technical information for non-technical audiences, or providing context and interpretation that helps others make better decisions. Becoming a gatekeeper in your field or organization can significantly enhance your power and influence. This might involve being the primary point of contact for important clients or stakeholders, controlling access to key decision-makers, or being the conduit through which important information or resources flow. By occupying this pivotal position, you make yourself essential to the functioning of the system, creating a form of dependence that enhances your power. Managing information asymmetry is a crucial skill in creating dependence. This involves strategically controlling the flow of information to maintain an advantage. It doesn't mean withholding critical information that others need to function effectively, but rather being thoughtful about how and when you share information to maximize its impact and your value. However, it's important to strike a balance between creating dependence through information control and maintaining trust and transparency. Excessive secrecy or perceived manipulation of information can backfire, damaging relationships and eroding the very influence you're trying to build. The goal is to be seen as a valuable source of information and insight, not as a bottleneck or obstructionist. Building loyalty and commitment is another crucial aspect of creating dependence. While skill, expertise, and control of resources can make you valuable, inspiring loyalty in others can make you truly indispensable. Loyal individuals and teams are more likely to rely on you, support your initiatives, and contribute to your success, creating a mutually reinforcing cycle of dependence and support. Creating emotional bonds is a powerful way to build loyalty. This involves genuinely connecting with others on a personal level, showing empathy and understanding, and demonstrating that you care about their well-being and success. By fostering these emotional connections, you create a form of dependence that goes beyond mere transactional relationships. However, it's crucial to approach this with authenticity and ethical consideration. Manipulating emotions or feigning personal connections for the sake of power can backfire dramatically, damaging your reputation and eroding trust. The goal is to build genuine relationships and emotional bonds that create mutual benefit and loyalty. Reward and recognition systems can be powerful tools in creating dependence. By acknowledging and rewarding those who support you or rely on your expertise, you reinforce the behavior and create positive associations with your relationship. This might involve formal recognition programs, personal acknowledgments, or tangible rewards for key contributions or loyalty. The key is to ensure that these rewards are meaningful to the recipients and aligned with their values and motivations. Generic or insincere rewards can be seen as manipulative, while thoughtful and personalized recognition can strengthen bonds and deepen dependence. Creating dependence also involves understanding and leveraging the principle of reciprocity. When you consistently provide value to others, they naturally feel a sense of obligation to reciprocate. This can create a cycle of mutual support and dependence that strengthens your position over time. However, it's important to approach this ethically, focusing on creating genuine value rather than manipulating others through calculated favors. Another aspect of creating dependence is becoming a crucial part of others' routines or processes. When your input, approval, or participation becomes a standard part of how things are done, you become more difficult to replace or bypass. This might involve becoming an essential part of decision-making processes, a key contributor to important projects, or a regular source of valuable insights or resources. However, it's important to ensure that your involvement genuinely adds value and doesn't become a bottleneck or unnecessary complication. The goal is to be seen as an essential facilitator of success, not an obstacle or bureaucratic hurdle. The risks of over-centralization should be carefully considered when creating dependence. While being indispensable can be powerful, becoming a single point of failure can be risky for both you and those who depend on you. It's important to strike a balance between making yourself valuable and ensuring that systems can function effectively even in your absence. This might involve developing systems and processes that leverage your expertise but can be operated by others, or cultivating a team that can support and extend your capabilities. The goal is to create a form of dependence that enhances overall effectiveness and resilience, rather than creating vulnerabilities. Ethical considerations are paramount when discussing the creation of dependence. While the strategies outlined in this chapter can be powerful tools for building influence and establishing stable power structures, they must be applied with integrity and a focus on mutual benefit. Creating dependence should not come at the expense of others' autonomy or well-being, nor should it involve deception or manipulation. Instead, the focus should be on creating genuine value, fostering mutually beneficial relationships, and positioning yourself as an essential contributor to the success and well-being of others. When applied ethically, creating dependence can lead to stable, productive relationships and power structures that benefit all involved. It's also important to consider the potential downsides of becoming indispensable. While it can provide job security and influence, it can also lead to overwork, stress, and difficulty in advancing to new roles or opportunities. Balancing the benefits of being indispensable with personal well-being and long-term career goals is crucial. Moreover, creating dependence is not a one-time achievement but an ongoing process. As needs change, new competitors emerge, or circumstances evolve, you must continually adapt and reinvent your value proposition to maintain your indispensable status. This requires ongoing learning, innovation, and attentiveness to the changing needs and dynamics of your environment. In conclusion, creating dependence is a powerful strategy in the exercise of power, but one that must be wielded with care, ethics, and a focus on mutual benefit. By becoming truly indispensable, controlling access to crucial resources and information, and building genuine loyalty and commitment, you can establish a stable and influential position within your sphere of influence. However, this power comes with responsibility. The most effective and sustainable forms of dependence are those based on the genuine creation of value, mutual benefit, and ethical consideration. By focusing on these principles, you can create forms of dependence that not only enhance your own power and influence, but also contribute positively to the success and well-being of those around you. Ultimately, the art of creating dependence is about making yourself an essential, positive force in your environment. When done right, it's not about constraining others, but about becoming so valuable that others naturally want to turn to you, rely on you, and support you. This creates a virtuous cycle of mutual benefit and influence that can form the foundation of lasting power and success. Conclusion. The 7 rules of power we've explored in this book provide a comprehensive framework for understanding, acquiring, and wielding influence effectively in various aspects of life. From self-mastery to creating dependence, these principles offer a nuanced approach to navigating the complex landscape of power dynamics. We began with the fundamental rule of understanding and mastering oneself. This cornerstone principle emphasizes the importance of self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and personal growth as the foundation for all other aspects of power. Without a deep understanding of your own motivations, strengths, and weaknesses, any attempt to influence others or navigate complex power structures is likely to falter. The second rule, controlling the narrative, highlighted the crucial role of perception management and strategic communication in shaping outcomes. By mastering the art of framing situations and conveying messages effectively, you can significantly influence how others perceive and respond to you and the circumstances around you. Knowing when to act and when to wait, our third rule, underscored the importance of timing and patience in the exercise of power. This principle teaches us that power is not just about what actions we take, but when we choose to take them, emphasizing the value of strategic patience and decisive action at the right moment. Leveraging relationships, the fourth rule, reminded us that power rarely exists in isolation. By building and maintaining a network of allies, supporters, and strategic connections, we can extend our influence far beyond our individual capabilities. The fifth rule, maintaining flexibility, emphasized the importance of adaptability in an ever-changing world. Those who can pivot strategically, adjust their approach as circumstances change, and remain open to new ideas and perspectives are best positioned to maintain and expand their power over time. Keeping your intentions concealed, our sixth rule, highlighted the strategic advantage of discretion and ambiguity in certain situations. By carefully managing the information we reveal about our plans and motivations, we can maintain an edge in negotiations, competitions, and other power dynamics. Finally, the seventh rule of creating dependence explored how making ourselves indispensable can establish lasting influence and stable power structures. By providing unique value and becoming an essential part of others' success, we can create mutually beneficial relationships that reinforce our position of power. Throughout these rules, we've emphasized the importance of ethical considerations and the focus on mutual benefit. True power, in its most sustainable and impactful form, is not about domination or manipulation, but about creating value, fostering positive relationships, and contributing to the greater good while achieving our own objectives. As you apply these rules in your personal and professional life, remember that mastering the art of power is a lifelong journey. It requires continuous learning, self-reflection, and adaptation. The most effective wielders of power are those who can balance assertiveness with empathy, strategic thinking with ethical consideration, and personal ambition with collective benefit. By internalizing and thoughtfully applying these 7 rules of power, you can navigate complex social dynamics more effectively, achieve your goals more consistently, and make a positive impact in your sphere of influence. Remember, with great power comes great responsibility. Use it wisely and ethically to create positive change in the world around you.